How did Fidel Castro gain power? Imagine a country ruled by a dictator where the people are tired of corruption and oppression. This was Cuba in the 1950s, and it's here that Fidel Castro's journey to power began. Castro was a young lawyer with big dreams of changing Cuba. In 1952, Fulgencio Batista, the former president, seized power in a military coup, canceling the planned presidential elections and declaring himself president. Castro, who had been running for office, saw this as a one-man dictatorship and decided to take action. He brought several legal cases against the government, but they went nowhere. Castro then turned to more drastic measures. In July 1953, he led a group of 165 men and women in an armed attack on the Moncada barracks in Santiago de Cuba. This attack was meant to spark a general insurrection, but it failed, and many of the attackers were killed or captured. Castro himself was arrested and put on trial. During his trial, Castro delivered a famous speech called "History Will Absolve Me," where he criticized the Batista regime and called for greater political and social liberties. This speech became a rallying cry for his movement. After being released from prison in 1955, Castro traveled to the United States and Mexico to organize his revolutionary movement, now called the 26th of July movement. In Mexico, he met Che Guevara, an Argentine Marxist-Leninist who joined his cause. In December 1956, Castro and his followers, including Che Guevara, set sail for Cuba on a yacht called the Granma. They launched a guerrilla war against Batista's government from the mountains of the Sierra Maestra. Over the next few years, Castro's forces grew, and they gained support from peasants and other Cubans tired of Batista's rule. By January 1, 1959, Castro's forces had captured key cities, and Batista had fled the country. Castro declared the victory of the Cuban Revolution from the balcony of the City Hall in Santiago de Cuba. Castro then began consolidating his power, taking control of Cuba's military forces and implementing radical social and economic reforms. He nationalized industries, established a one-party communist state, and became the Prime Minister of Cuba. In 1976, Castro became the President of Cuba, a position he held until 2008 when he transferred power to his brother Raúl. Throughout his rule, Castro remained a central figure in Cuban politics, shaping the country according to his Marxist-Leninist and nationalist ideals. So that's how Fidel Castro gained power, through a combination of armed rebellion, strategic alliances, and a strong vision for change.